welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is for Mouse Mazurka, and with me today to do a bit of Polish dancing is my good friend Manny Cruz. Say hi.
I'm here with my friend Anthony's Animation Talk, the animation aficionado. That was an awful impression.
I love it.
It's like I tried to do like what Mel Blanc does in the beginning, but it's like I added in like a bit of like Latin flavor to it. I mean, I am Hispanic, but it's just like I tried to do that Eastern European accent he does. I tried my best and I failed miserably.
Keep practicing. Keep practicing.
Keep practicing.
That's right. So, just a few bits of info before we get underway. So this is Mouse Mazurka, released on the 11th of June 1949. It had a blue ribbon reissue in 1956. It's the 558th in the series and it's directed by Friz Freleng. And you can currently find this one on the Looney Tunes Mouse Chronicles DVD and Blu-ray set, but it's not restored there. And so what you're going to see here, I did a bit of my own cleanup and upscaling and that. So this is a copy I'm using here, which looks kind of decent, I would think. Anyway, the synopsis, I mean, it's very simple. So in Slobovia,
yeah, say that 5 times fast.
Yeah,
Slobovia.
You know, it's full of slobs, as we all know. We see the story of a mouse just trying to get food to feed himself, but Sylvester is always in the way of a good meal. Plus, there's lots of dancing, and that's what we'll talk about very shortly, too. There's not much by way of trivia except for the fact that the mazurka, I believe, is a lively Polish dance done in triple time. Now, is that correct, or do you have a better definition than that?
From Britannica. So yes, a mazurka is a Polish folk dance for a circle of couples characterized by stamping feet and clicking heels, and traditionally danced to the music of a village band. The music is in 3/4 or 3/8 time, with a forceful accent on the second. So dun 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 dun. So yeah, always accenting the second beat. When I walk everywhere, I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Going to work.
And then yeah, I go to work and I wonder why I don't have any dates. Hi-oh! No, I'm just kidding. And yes, the dance and the music are both called the mazurka.
Beautiful. So, and there'll be footage here of Manny doing the mazurka. No, I'm just kidding.
Photoshop my head over the mouse and it should be good.
Done. Done. But let's talk about this one, because this one is one of those in an unofficial series. This is what I personally would say of Friz Freleng's, where there's a huge focus on music, and he's done quite a few of these shorts, and this one is great. It may not be his best, but the timing with it is just incredible. Just, if you need any other example of Friz's timing, definitely watch this one. Like when Sylvester is walking, dun 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 dun, like he's walking to the beat perfectly, and just wows me every time. It's incredible. What was your, I guess, favorite bouncing to the beat moment in this one?
I would say that part was really neat, but also the part where the mouse is like running towards the hole and Sylvester is like running in time to the music. That was a pretty funny scene. I know some people, they kind of feel that, like with Friz Freleng, he wasn't as, I guess, as innovative as Chuck Jones was, or Clamp or whatever. It's like, there's times that people, they'll just go insane. It's always like usually either Clamp it or Jones or Avery to an extent, but it's just like Freleng was just so freaking reliable with his comedic timing and his mastery of putting animation to music. And this cartoon is a really, really good example of that. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, you could have all the wacky takes and poses that you want, but it doesn't beat great timing and great music.
Exactly. And speaking of music, what do we hear in this one? Because there's quite a bit here.
In this cartoon, you're going to hear a little bit of the Pizzicato Polka from Johann Strauss. I believe, because I was listening to a recording of it and I was comparing it with the cartoon. If I'm wrong, please somebody put it in the comments, but I believe it's during the scene when Sylvester disguises his hand as a female mouse or female young lady, I guess, because it doesn't really look like a mouse, to interact with our protagonist of the cartoon. And you also hear the song of the Volga Boatman, ba-da-da-da-da, when the mouse is pulling up the safe to drop on Sylvester's head. And that scene floored me when the safe made contact with Sylvester's head. I love that take. You also hear some of the Hungarian dances from Johannes Brahms. There's a very famous commercial that I saw in college where it's like it was imitating a cereal commercial that this family was eating breakfast, and then Johannes Brahms busts in through the door of the house with his piano like the Kool-Aid man. He goes, "Guten Tag!" And he pronounces his name as Johannes. He says the cereal is called Raisin Brahms. So he says, "Eat Raisin Brahms. It'll make you a better musician," or whatever it is. And I can't say his name properly now because I'm like, yes, this cartoon features the Hungarian dance number 7 and 17 by Johannes Brahms. Or if you think of another cartoon that uses the same dances, number 17 and 7, Pigs in a Polka, when you have the wolf saying, "Johannes Brahms' Hungarian dances."
Set to the delightful music of Johannes Brahms' Hungarian dances.
Good thing I didn't say this in college because I would have gotten some of my professors irritated that I was saying Johannes Brahms or Johannes Brahms. And yeah, it's just those are some of the main takeaways musically that you have in this cartoon. And again, you want to see how the time music, watch this and watch, Rhapsody Rabbit, Rhapsody and Rivets, and Pigs in a Polka, and all these other ones that Friz was just so remarkably gifted at.
Exactly right. But thankfully, the cartoon's also funny. So
that too.
That too. And it's not just funny because of some of the music timing, which is genuinely funny, but there's also things like, I pointed this out to you, Manny, and you didn't even notice it, and I think some of you may not have seen it, but there's this dancing in the beginning. You see all the people, but that's apparently how they travel around. I mean, go figure. But for a split second, you actually see a horse dancing, that Russian dance. And that, I was like, what? I had to rewind that to see, did I just see a horse dancing with a sled in the back? And I thought that was a fantastic. And who doesn't love the name Boris Borscht?
The Bagel Baron.
My goodness, that definitely killed me there. And, I also loved the narrator's voice, which he tries to do poorly earlier on. But it was funny, though. I liked it, though. It was still pretty funny. But it's basically Barney with an accent, and that's the thing about Mel Blanc.
Our story begins to commence many years ago in a remote part of the Slavovian mountains.
You know it's Mel Blanc every time he does his voices, but he still has that range where it's like, yeah, it's Mel, but so darn good. But
oh, thanks, Fred.
Oh, wow.
You said Barney.
Was that supposed to be Barney? I don't know.
I guess where I could have went, I love you, you. Oh, wait, that's a completely different Barney. Never mind.
Not that Barney. It's like, hey, Fred.
Oh, you have to do a little more. Hi, Fred.
Yeah, of course. One day,
quit while I'm ahead.
That's right. One day I'm going to cover the Flintstones anyway. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. But can we just comment about how stupid Sylvester is in this one at times? I mean, the hand puppet scene is my favorite.
Oh, it's great.
And it just boggles the mind at how stupid Sylvester is in that one. And that just killed me. Sylvester's thinking, oh yeah, this mouse is going to fall for this hand thing. He's not even a puppet, basically. It's just his hand and just painted. And we've seen this gag before in I think, a few Bob Clampett shorts. But here, it's so good. But the killer for me is how the mouse just changes it into himself. And then Sylvester thinks that's him and it's his own hand. I don't know. It's so stupid. What's interesting, though, is that in this one, Sylvester's completely silent in the entire short, except for the very end.
That's what you think.
In an earlier scene, he's trying to communicate with the mouse, and he's not talking. So I'm thinking, okay, Sylvester's silent in this whole thing. But no, he could speak. That was a bit weird.
I thought that was actually pretty neat that they saved his talking for the end, because, you know, obviously this isn't the first cartoon that Sylvester hasn't spoke, but I think it was really smart that Friz decided to do it at the end. And of course, the way he does it at the end when the narrator is mocking him and he's like, I'm not going to get him, or whatever he says at the end. And I was like, perfect way to implement his voice. I mean, I never get tired of the floppy voice of Sylvester.
Yeah.
It's always appealing to listen to. But yeah, there was a really smart move on Friz's part.
And also,
now I'm covered in spit. Ugh.
serves you right. And of course, nitroglycerin. The whole setup in that was pretty clever. How the mouse changed it to something, you know, harmless, and yet he continues to think that it's harmless when it's swapped for actual nitroglycerin. And you can see the terror in Sylvester's eyes when he thinks, this is real nitroglycerin, and then it ends up being nitroglycerin. I thought that was pretty clever. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I like the way when the bottle went up on the shelf and like the vibration caused the real one to come on down. I was like, yeah, that's really clever.
But I do have to wonder why there was nitroglycerin there in the first place. I don't know. There might have been a medicinal thing. I don't know.
Maybe it was probably the house of a mad scientist. Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe that's how Boris Borscht became the bagel baron, because his bagels have nitroglycerin. Well, you got to add some flavor to it somehow. I don't know.
Exactly right. So, but in terms of rating this one, look, again, this one is not perhaps memorable. It's a solid short, and I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. And it's a fun short to watch. Great musical timing, few funny gags, but this one didn't strike me as an absolute classic. And I guess when it's surrounded by genuine masterpieces, because 1949 is full of them, I guess it's going to have a hard time being its own thing. But what do you think? 7.5, is that about right, or it might be a bit too harsh? Or
I was initially going to give it a 7.5, but I'm like, I mean, like I was saying before, when it comes to the musical timing and some of the gags are really good, but yeah, 49 definitely has a ton of bangers in it compared to like the other Friz shorts that are heavily based in music. Like if you're like, all right, what do you Mouse Mazurka or Rhapsody Rabbit or Rhapsody in Rivets or Pigs in a Polka, I'll take those over this one any day of the week. It's not a bad short, but it's okay. It's a 7 out of 10. I was gonna do 7.5. I was like, you know what? And thinking about it more, I was like, let me drop it a bit down. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Still a good short. But Friz has done better musical shorts, and there are better shorts this year than this one.
Exactly. But, you know, at the end of the day, if I'm forced to watch this short, hey, I'll take it. It's still fun. It's still a lot of fun. So, wrap this one here. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this. And until next time, take care.
And now I want some bagels.